Here at school, we talk a lot about being successful and what it takes. Perseverance, commitment, and cooperation are a few attitudes that help us achieve, and there's plenty more where that came from. But there's one quality that we sometimes overlook, and it's one that you started experiencing very early in life: happiness. Think about it. You ask anyone, anywhere, if they'd rather be happy or blank, and I guarantee they pick happiness or they're lying. After all, when we're happy, we're just so much more successful and productive. How much easier is it to push yourself when you have that sense of things being in place, of peace and contentment? There's nothing quite like it, but we all know it when we feel it, and definitely when we don't feel it. And with any luck, we can carry that feeling with us as we strive ahead on whatever may be our path. It may come as a surprise that psychologists only recently started tackling the idea of promoting happiness in their patients, rather than focusing just on reducing negative emotions. Perhaps it's because for the longest time, most people believed that happiness came from life circumstances, like how young you are, or how much money you have, or even genetics, like maybe you come from a long line of miserable people. This has been recently dismantled, though, and psychologists have discovered that a whopping 40% of a person's happiness actually stems from intentional behaviors, or lifestyle choices they make from day to day. Rich, poor, old, young, there's a huge potential range of happiness a person might experience. And with that hopeful thought in mind, I present the Happiness Inquiry. And where does one go exactly if they wanted to study happiness? Well, how about the happiest country in the world? Drumroll, please. Denmark! That's right. Many different studies have shown that when it comes to general life satisfaction, the Danes do it best, and have for years now. As you can see, Denmark is a lot smaller in size than the US or even Illinois. With a little over 5 million people living there, it has about half the population of the Chicagoland area. But before you scoff, think about this. Denmark may be small, but it's way older and wiser than us. The early Danes were largely Vikings who settled in Denmark a whopping 1,100 years ago. Considering the U.S. wasn't officially made a country until 1776, that's basically like comparing a 13-year-old kid to a 60-year-old adult. Some difference. And let me tell you, those Viking guys were tough. Through the centuries, they endured unbelievable hardship and had to fight to keep their land and control of the Baltic Sea. Today, Denmark stands strong and is considered one of the most forward-thinking nations in the world, besides being the happiest all around. So let's respect this small but mighty nation of Denmark. We have a lot to learn from them. I know I did this summer when I spent a month living in Aarhus, second largest city next to the capital, Copenhagen. While there, I interviewed 9 Danes from all different walks of life and asked them about their values and lifestyles. I hope that after watching this, you'll have some ideas about what you might want to start doing to become happier. Remember, psychology has taught us that you could be nearly twice as happy just by making some small changes to your lifestyle and your outlook. But what sorts of changes? Well, hear for yourself what they had to say, and steal as many good ideas as you like.
My name is Christine. I'm 21 and I work as a waitress full-time here in a cafe before I start studying for the university. At the moment I consider myself pretty happy, but I don't really know what to do yet with the university, and I don't really have a place to live, but I have a job and I have a steady income, so I think I consider myself lucky that I can get a job, because of young people here in Denmark. It's really tough to get a job when you don't have a degree or anything.
My name's Tara, and I study alternative medicine. Yeah. If I would consider myself a happy person, yes, I would. Well, most of the time. I can't say constantly, but most of the time, yeah.
Okay, my name is Eben Kirk Øgendal, and I'm 35 years old. And actually, I just quit my job. But I used to be an ICU nurse for children. Well, you know, life brings you ups and downs, but in general, I think my attitude to life is quite positive, and I try to get the best out of it. So I guess that's bringing me a lot of happiness as well.
My name is Yannick. I'm 46 years old, and I have a little restaurant with a friend of mine, and I'm the waiter at the place. If I'm a happy person, I'm not happy. I try to be. I like forgetting myself in when I have specific jobs to do. I like my job, for example, because there's a lot of routines, which makes me forget myself, which makes me happy. Anything that makes me forget myself makes me happy, actually. Also, a good movie, great TV series, books, music, whatever makes me forget myself. Driving on a motorcycle also makes me forget myself.
My name is Naya Joanne Brandt, and I'm here from Denmark, but half from Greenland as well. I'm 24 years old, and I work here at this restaurant where I serve, and sometimes I make the food as well. And then I play a lot of music on the side, and that's kind of my life right now. Do I consider myself a happy person? Yes, I do. I do a lot because I think it's because my mama taught me well how to be happy. I think because I believe in, like, we all have these lives we're given, and some of us are more lucky than others, you know. But you have this life, and I don't know if you have another life, another try, but you have this life right now, so just do the best of it. Like, whatever you have, like passions, everything, you should just go for it. And that's how my mom taught me, that it's okay also to make mistakes, but get over it quickly and just do things that makes you happy.
My name is Jenny, and I am 33, and I work here at Hamza Yoga as a manager and a yoga teacher. Yes, I would consider myself happy in general. To be happy it's a choice that you have to make it.
Hi, I'm Casper. I'm 28. I'm a sales assistant in a fish truck, fish market, mobile fish market, if you can say that. What makes me happy? Well, good friends, and I don't really think that much about how life goes by. I know it's going to be okay.
My name is Helle. I'm 35 years old. I'm changing careers right now, so from marketing, banking, I'm changing it to kindergarten teacher. No, not kindergarten teacher. We don't have a word for it like you do, but like work in a kindergarten. I'm not totally happy right now. Like I said before, I lost my parents to cancer, like with 5 years in between, and they've been sick for 10 years, so it was up and down. So I was more focused on that. I'm not unhappy either, but I also think that I'm spoiled unhappy. I know you can compare yourself to people in Africa. Happiness is getting clean water, right? We have that here, but I'm finding my way slowly. But I also think that getting older, that helps finding the real happiness. Like, the money is not going to make me happy. What I do, the choices I make, makes me happy. So I'm on my way. I'm not totally happy right now, but I don't mind, because there's always room for improvement.
Okay, a typical day for me. Well, I live in an apartment here downtown, very close to here, with one of my best friends, and we have like same friends. We share the same friends, and we're never alone at home. We always have people crashing, so we always have food in our house for the people, and so we always a lot of people. So we start the morning by waking up everyone in different rooms, and then we maybe put on some music, and then we meet in the kitchen. I make some food for the boys. And today, even though it's raining, we're just happy it's summer. So we took our bikes and then we went for the beach, and in the rain we were swimming. Yeah, I do that every day here in the summer. I go for a swim. I love it. I never shower actually here in the summer. I only go in the ocean. Yeah. So that's a typical day for me. Yeah. And then
I grew up in Ireland, actually before moving to Denmark, and my mom used to always give me breakfast in bed every morning before I went to school. And my friends loved coming to my house because I got breakfast in bed. And I remember starting my day every day, slowly waking up, slowly drinking my tea and eating whatever my mom brought me. And I do that to my own kids now. I give them breakfast in bed every morning. And some people think it's very, they're very spoiled, but they slowly just sit there and eat, but I feel as though they're in the moment instead of, get out of bed, get out of bed, get out of bed. So they get breakfast in bed every morning. And then they slowly wake up, and then I, either ask them to, because the big ones, they can find their own clothes. But the small one, I would sometimes, find his clothes for him, leave it on the bed and say, when you're ready, could you put your clothes on? And ever since I started giving them breakfast in bed, our mornings have become so much more balanced and so much nicer.
Typical day in my life would be waking up, and then depending on whether I have an early shift at work or if I have a late shift at work, I would be either going to work or cleaning up my room. I live in it's called a collective. It's a big building with I think it's 45 rooms where you live together with people, and then you're 15 people about one kitchen, and then you live together. Then I would probably do some laundry, maybe go into town, look at the shops, visit a friend, and then go to work afterwards. And if I'm off work, I would probably take the train home to my parents, visit them, or visit my grandmother. Yeah, I don't really do much. I work a lot. So.
I'm really kind of outdoor person. So I'm so lucky I live right by the forest and ocean up here. So a nice thing to do would go for a walk in the forest with some of my friends, and coming down here doing yoga. And recently I just bought a horse, so I would go to the stable and take care of that as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, hanging out with my friends, going for a dinner, and playing games, have a laugh, go to movies. Yeah.
When I'm working, which is every other week, then I get up and go down here and have coffee. That also makes me happy. Mm-hmm. The silence in the morning, the coffee drinking, and the coffee makes me happy. The first cup of coffee makes me happy. And then there's a lot of work to do during the day, and then, I don't know, but in the summer I go to the beach, which can make me happy. But then there's something about this city. In the wintertime it's awful. It's a snow beach. You can't go to it. It's cold and dark, and everybody gets miserable. It's easier to be happy here in Aarhus in the summertime because it's such a beautiful city, and there's beaches and woods. It's beautiful.
In the wintertime, I winter bathe. Bathe in the sea in the wintertime. There's a place just not very far from where I live, where you go into the water. You can either do it quickly or be there for a bit, and then there's a sauna, and then you go into the sauna, and then you do this 3 times, and the feeling of it. Talk about feeling your body, but it's absolutely amazing. It's beautiful and really, really wonderful, and it's very relaxing afterwards. So in the wintertime I would do that before I pick up the kids, because it always relaxes me. And then we would do different things in the afternoon and make dinner, and they have a making dinner day a week each, and they would, my big son, the eldest, goes to handball, so he would go there, or there would be friends over. Some of their friends would be over, and then it'd be time for bed. And in the evening time, I don't have a TV, so I don't watch TV. But I would read a book, or I don't know. Be creative. I knit, or different things like that. Or maybe one of my girlfriends would come by Yeah, that would be, I would say, a typical day for me.
Well, I love dancing, like love it. That's why I'm traveling a lot to Africa or Brazil, Cuba, because they have like their environment, their community is, all the music is like inside every day. Like, oh, I don't know how to explain. Like when I was in Tanzania, every morning we woke up 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. We go to the field, like to do the fields, and then they like, that's not funny. Let's make a dance, songs and drums out of it. So they made this dance that calls Pogobo Gobo, where you actually have this thing, where you have made a dance where you just do that, you know. So it's in there every day. There's music, and I think that's amazing. You don't have that here at all. Yeah. So I'm very fascinated by that. So I go there and travel a lot just for the dancing. I love dancing. It's been a bad evening if I haven't been like dancing once. Yeah.
No, I don't use Facebook or Twitter. I used to do it, but then a girlfriend broke up with me, and there was all these pictures of her new boyfriend on Facebook, so I hated. And after that, I became more and more. I disliked it more and more because it was, it was just like, I just always felt I wasted my time after when I closed it down. It never did me any good. So I'm fascinated by it. I'm always curious about what's happening in there. It's like a party going on next door, but I'm controlling myself not to look in because I'm always disappointed.
I don't post every day. I'm lucky if I post something on Facebook like every month right now. Also because I get annoyed at people that do. That is not my business. It was funny. It was fun in the beginning. You know, you were writing an update at home. You know, who cares, right? And I think it's kind of lost its purpose a little bit. For me anyway, but I use it of course, and if I'm bored one night on my phone, I will go through the newsfeed and stuff and look through and but I know I'm not using it that often anymore, and I actually trying to text people still instead of on the Facebook chat. A lot of my friends uses the Facebook chat, but I try not to. I don't know why. It's also like sometimes I make stupid principles like that, you know.
What I value most about my life. Probably the fact that I'm able to do anything I want to do. Because I live in a country like Denmark where I don't have to think about, oh, I can't go to that school because that costs $100,000, and I can't go to that school because I have to have a grade of 1 billion. I can do anything I want to do because even if you want to study something or do something where you have to have a high grade, you can still apply and maybe get in because they have interviews. Where if you have a grade of F or something, if you failed everything, if you ace the interview, you can get in. And I think that's a great thing about living in Denmark, that there's no limitations really to what you can do.
I think I value most because I'm teaching myself to be in the now. Right now, listening to, I value when I remind myself every single moment with my kids, with my friends, with myself. Yeah. I honestly value the moment, every single moment.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I value my family, well, my son and my ex-girlfriend, the mother of my. Well, we're good friends, so I value her very much, and I value my health a lot, and I value my friends a lot. Then there's the motorcycle in the car. Yeah, mostly my son and my health and family and friends.
My boyfriend and I, we have a teeny tiny apartment, and you know, we have a nice bed to sleep in, we have roof over the head, and we get food every day, and it's just fine, you know. And then we can travel, and we can, you know, I can come down here, do yoga, and we can move, and we can, you know, live, and I don't really need more than that, you know. No, I think a lot of people are really busy of getting big houses and big cars and earning a lot of money, but you know, as long as I have the basics, the opportunity to go out and enjoy nature as well, and take a hike and just enjoy the sound of nothing, which is quite amazing.
I really value my home. I value being close to the forest, close to the sea. I value staying at home. I love to travel as well, but it's the base, it's the grounding that is really important, because if I don't have that, I'm gonna freak out in my brain, because if I only travel and go everywhere and live inside of the city and never tune into whatever is happening in nature, it's going to be crazy. So I value all the things that are basic.
Yeah, I value freedom right now, to do what I want to do, and I value that I don't care so much anymore about what other people think and what the society thinks. Like, I'm gay, and it's not hard to be gay in Denmark, but it's not totally easy. But I don't really care anymore, because what matters is what makes me happy. Not that I go do crazy stuff. I keep myself inside the law, but yeah, freedom.
I value a lot how I was raised, because I think that's how I know how to make a happy life out of what I have. Yeah. And I think a lot of people feel a bit more lucky if they just like looked at the more positive things, more positive, you know. Instead of saying, "Oh, it's raining today," then you should just like, because every weather is nice weather, it just depends on how you dress in the weather, you know. You could just put a raincoat on and it's be very, very nice weather, you know.
At the moment, what I find interesting is books and reading. So I'm going to study literature and then see where it takes me. I'd rather do that than say, I need this job because then I can get a lot of money. I'd rather say, I like this topic, I'm going to study this and then make it work for me. Instead of just saying, I want to be a lawyer because they make a lot of money and then I can have a fancy car and a great apartment. Then I would just, I'll make it work some way, I think.
Very hard. I had a couple of years when I had this tiny diary, and I gave myself the assignment to write 3 happy things that happened during the day. And the first couple of days it was like, oh my god, it took forever to find 3 things that made me happy during the day. And then after a couple of years it's just, I couldn't stop. It's like, oh, why can I only write 3 things? So it's kind of a way of changing your way of thinking and your whole approach to the world and to life and your everyday life.
Well, I just think it's about trying. Like, you can try, but I try, like when I was younger and I worked a lot and I had those money, you know, I worked that everyday job. I tried buying many things, and that's the way I found out that, okay, I can take that off my list. It's not what made me happy. I think it's so different what makes people happy, but for everyone it goes like, be healthy and be with people that makes you feel good, people that you can feel you can give something to and you can get something from, you know, and like respect people and they will respect you, like treat other people like you want to be treated, like Yeah, I think for me it's just about being a good human. All that other thing is just feel good about things you do, things you can respect you're doing. Yeah, I think that's it.
You have to look into your own eyes every day at the mirror and be, no matter what life will bring you, you always have to be true to yourself, because friends and boyfriends and husbands can come and go, but you are you, and you have to be true to yourself.
If they want to become happier, trust yourself, trust your instinct. Of course, be reasonable of what you do. I don't know if reasonable is the right word, but go for it. No, don't listen to what other people say. If you have a goal, go for it. If it's like reachable, of course. And if you don't succeed, then try something new. There's always a lot of ways to do stuff, and maybe you have to take 10 ways to get there, but at least you would have learned something. Like, take everything you learned with you, and that's not only about being happy, but it's about being content in life, I think, and learn from your mistakes. And when you learn, I think that makes you happy. But also, like, relax. Do your homework. No, it's a tough question, actually.
Well, think more about yourself. Think less about money and material things. I mean, do something for others. I mean, that if you give something, most people will eventually just give you, just a smile back and save someone's day. So remember that, and you'll do fine most of the time.
From what we've just seen, it seems like it's not about being rich, it's not about how many friends you have on Facebook, and it's not about your job title. It's really those values and daily life choices that actually count. So, what will yours be?